Tonight, an epic battle ensues. For the tens in attendance from Salt Lake City, Utah, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for
Raising a Gamer! Yeah!
Let's get ready for Raising a Gamer!
In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Punch-Out! Yeah!
Yeah, so today we are talking about Punch-Out! Now, you might have noticed when Cool Knight held this up, this is the Wii version of Punch-Out! We're doing something a little bit different today. We're going to talk about both the Wii version and do you remember?
Nintendo NES Classic.
Yep, the Nintendo NES Classic version. The one that I know and that most people my age will know as Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Nowadays, it's just called Punch-Out! Featuring Mr. Dream. So, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Cool Knight was a game that came out in the late 80s, 1987, so I was just a little kid. I believe we got this game as a kid probably a couple of years later after it had been out. I don't think we quite got it when I was 6 years old. Back in the late 80s, it was a lot more popular. Mike Tyson was known as the baddest man on earth. He was someone that other boxers feared. He was such a strong opponent. So he got to be put on the cover, and that he was a final boss. He was really, really hard to beat. Took me forever as a kid to even get up to Mike Tyson at the end. Now, do you remember who the first opponent is in regular Punch-Out!
Glass Joe.
Now, is Glass Joe hard?
So easy.
Yeah.
He's feared of everybody in the Punch-Out! Game.
Feared of everybody?
Yeah, he's
Or
like,
no one's afraid of him, you mean?
no one's afraid of him, but he's so...
Oh, he's afraid of everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so Glass Joe is going to be the first guy you fight in Punch-Out! And even though he's really easy, Glass Joe is an important character. And the reason, Cool Knight, why Glass Joe is so important is because Glass Joe is kind of your way of, learning when to punch, learning when to dodge, right? It's kind of the way that you learn the game. So in the game Punch-Out!, you play as a character Little Mac. He's a 17-year-old from Bronx, New York. Okay, and like his name says, he's a little guy. He's skinnier and he's shorter than a lot of these other boxers, right? But the whole point is that you can take someone who's not as big and bulky as these other guys, and you can make him go all the way to the top. What did you think of the look of the game?
Old.
It was old, right? But it kind of went for this cartoony style. What did you think of the crowd? I remember you made a comment about the crowd.
They're like little square, weird emoji faces, like ginger face like this.
Yeah, they're these little, like, yellow-looking,
Weird
just
face.
kind of heads that kind of move around
And
in
they
the
look like
crowd.
they're puking because they're yellow.
Right? Now, but at the time, these graphics were really good for a regular Nintendo game. The style was really good. The gameplay was addictive. This game sold really well. A lot of people had it. A lot of people were trying to beat Mike Tyson and failing. But overall, for the time, I thought it had a good look. And you still thought it looked okay. I mean, it definitely looked old, but was it still fun and looked okay to you? Yeah. What did you think about learning the controls?
Easy.
Easy. Now, the one thing I do want to say, though, and this applies to both Punch-Out! Games, is at first you weren't really...
And like you didn't really know the buttons.
Yeah, when you didn't know the buttons, you were getting frustrated, and you were kind of looking like you didn't really want to play it much. At first, it's kind of come on, let's play,
And then like 5 minutes later, I knew most of the controls.
Yeah, you knew most of the controls, and I could tell you liked it, like we've talked about on other videos, because you start hopping around, okay? You start bouncing up, down, you start staying up. That's That's kind of the Cool Knight seal of approval. That means you like a game if you're hopping around, if you start standing up as you play. And then also last night we were playing, and you said the classic line of what? Do you remember? I said, "Hey, time to turn it off," and you said what?
One more round.
One more round, right? So you're definitely enjoying it. Okay, now let's talk about Punch-Out on the Wii, because this is definitely the newer version. Before we leave the old Punch-Out, I just want to say real quick, if you are really dying to have original Punch-Out, yeah, you can still find the cartridge. We have the game on the Nintendo Classic. We also have it on our Wii Virtual Console. So there are ways to get it. However, it's going to be a lot harder being a original Nintendo game to track down. Whereas this game, you'll be able to find it. You know, I see this thing on classified ads. I see it on eBay, about $10. Okay, and for the price, definitely worth it. But let's talk about this version of Punch-Out. Okay, what did you think of the art style? How did it look to you?
Better than the other one.
Yeah, a lot better. And this game is 2009, so it's a lot older or a lot newer of a game, right? So you'd hope it looks better, but it still kind of keeps that cartoony look to it. What about the way the game played? After learning the original Punch-Out, did you feel like you had to learn a whole new game?
Not really. It was the same controls, but except like one or two, because the A button was the like power thing, and then you could duck.
Okay, so the power thing, that's your star punch,
Duck,
right?
And the duck.
And you could also duck. So they have made some additions. Now, this game you play with the Wiimote, and I didn't grab a Wiimote for the video. I should have. But you just turn the Wiimote sideways, kind of the same look and style that you would have on a original Nintendo controller. You have your 1 and 2 buttons, which kind of act like your A and B buttons, right? And your D-pad still dodges to the side. You still hit up to do an uppercut. And then, yeah, like we said, you can also now duck, which the ducking comes in really handy for a lot of these guys. Did you have a favorite character to fight against?
Not really. I don't have a favorite.
Now there's...
Like, they're hard and all. I just don't like the characters except Lil Mac, because you're that person.
Okay, fair enough. One of the things that Punch-Out really does is it really focuses on stereotypes. So you have a guy, Glass Joe, who's from Paris. When you knock him out, do you remember what would happen? What would fly up in the air? It was comical.
I forgot what it was called, but French bread or something?
Yeah, French bread.
Baguettes.
Yeah. Yeah, so the baguettes would fly around out of nowhere. French bread comes flying all over the place, right?
No, and you only knock them out like KO or KTO.
TKO. Okay. So, going back to favorite characters, Glass Joe definitely isn't one of mine, but I do like how the baguettes fly. King Hippo was kind of fun because you made a comment about his underwear. So when you punch him in the gut, his pants fall down, and he's trying to pull up his pants over and over. And what was on his underwear? Do you remember?
Is it on the pillow? I can't remember.
Oh, is it on the pillow?
It might. No.
Nope, not on the pillow. But
It's like
you
a
got the
star.
right idea. The star from Mario. Okay, so the stars from Mario are on his underwear. The original Punch-Out has the ref is Mario, and the new Punch-Out's not Mario, but they do like to make little subtle hints that this is a Nintendo property. Once again, you have other wrestlers like Soda Popinski. He was the guy always drinking out of the bottle, right?
Bottle of beer.
Well, they call him Soda Popinski, so you'd think it's pop, but it's a game that likes to play on stereotypes, so maybe.
I thought he was from Canada.
He's from Russia.
I thought he was Canada.
Nope, Soda Popinski is a Russian.
Wait, is there a Canada person that's
Canadian?
Canadian, whatever.
I don't think there is. But like I said, definitely stereotypes. You have King Hippo, who's supposed to be Hawaiian. When you knock him out, do you remember what comes out?
Pineapples.
Pineapples. Okay, you have Glass Joe, who's your guy from France.
Who's that disco kid?
Yeah, there's Disco Kid. He's a newer character. I'm assuming it's Disco that he's an American, but he's the guy who's always looking in the mirror, thinking he looks really good looking, really self-absorbed. Kind of, he dances around as you box against him.
And he has like a music, like a disco ball in the beginning.
Yep. So if you look down on the mat, you can see the lights from the disco ball. Okay, what did you think about the difficulty level? Because that's definitely something we need to address in Punch-Out. What did you think of it?
The first one is easy. The second one is minor, and then the third one is major. So
Okay, so you have all these bouts. So you have like three boxers in each level is what you're talking about, right? So the minor one, the guys aren't too hard, but they're challenging enough. But by the time you get up to the very top, remember we tried boxing against
Mr. Sandman.
Mr. Sandman. And what happened? Oh yeah, he crushed me. Right? He punches down and just like beats you down, right? As hard as the original Punch-Out was on the Nintendo, Punch-Out on the Wii, I think is much harder. And here's the reason why. Is earlier we were talking about how Punch-Out's a Twitch-based game, right? You have to learn the moves, learn to know when to. Are you gonna yawn again?
No.
Do I need to go get you a pillow?
None. Okay, I got a pillow.
Yep. Snuggle up. Snuggle up. Don't fall asleep.
Okay. This will help me.
So, anyways, the original Punch-Out, like we were saying, you learn their moves, right? Now, in this one, in the Wii Punch-Out, what makes it so much more harder is you get that muscle memory where you learn their moves, and then a lot of times after you knock them down once, it changes ever so slightly. Good thing you have the pillow. Okay, so like Glass Joe, for example. When you face Glass Joe the first time, he's not too hard. You face him in a later round, he's wearing a sparring helmet, and his timing just changes completely. When he goes to punch, instead of like putting his arm back and then actually swinging, this time he puts his arm back, hesitates for a split second, and then punches. And what gets me every time is...
sometimes he does that.
Well, yeah, sometimes he does and sometimes he doesn't. And that's what's the hard part, is your muscle memory tells you when he puts his arm back to punch, that's when you need to dodge, right? But then he hesitates for half a second, you dodge early, you come back, and he's just punching you. And this game can be so incredibly frustrating. Still a lot of fun, still very addictive, but I'd be embarrassed to tell you my record in this game because I lose a lot.
I went a lot.
I went through this game a couple months back, and I was determined to beat it, and I did, but it took me multiple times to get through some of these characters. Actually, there are a couple of them that took me like 50 rounds. Like, it was ridiculous. Why I didn't rage quit this, I don't know. Okay, before you fall asleep, cool night. What's your overall grade for Punch-Out on the Wii?
Bad.
Oh, boo. I'm gonna give it a C+. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I've played it. I'll play it again more, but it's not.
What?
It's not a great game. It's frustrating, the fact that it is very difficult and that you can definitely. It's a game that a lot of people will probably rage quit. You have sweet dreams there?
Yeah, and I hear Sammy.
Oh, you hear your baby brother. Okay,
Don't
well,
get them.
I guess that's our cue. You're falling asleep on us. We got a toddler in the background, so let's get out of here. Punch-Out, though, just from a parental perspective, it's a boxing game, so there's a lot of violence. It's not gory. You don't see blood or anything, but...
Well, you actually do, because when you get hit, like, your screen turns red on the side.
The screen might turn red, but blood's not coming out. You know, you're not going to see anything really graphic.
Well...
It's rated E10+, so they say it's for everyone 10 and up. But just
10.
be aware that obviously this is a boxing game. There's going to be
not
punching.
10.
Well, you're almost 10, but I'm not too worried about it. It's a pretty tame game overall, in my opinion. But it is a fighting game, so keep that in mind. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Give us a little thumbs up if you like us. Leave a comment. Tell us if you have a favorite character, and we'll see you later.